Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam.
Namaskar friends, myself Professor Dr. Preeti Mayani from HRDC Gujarat University. I would like to welcome you all in this Guru Dakshata program. We have a wonderful personality with us, Dr. Neelam Panchal. She is a very good friend of HRDC and she is also our colleague of Gujarat University. She has completed her DLET in Management, PhD, MPhil and MBA with gold medal. She is working as an associate professor in BK School of Business Management, Gujarat University. During the course of her career in academics, she completed the faculty development program in management from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. She has also completed the specialized faculty development program in research at IIM Ahmedabad. Prior to joining Gujarat University, Dr. Neelam has worked as a full-time faculty at Institute of Management, Nirma University. She has over 18 years of academic and industry experience. She has completed teaching assignments with various reputed institutes like Management Development Institute, Murshidabad, Calcutta, Institute of Management, Nirma University, Ahmedabad, PG Diploma in Finance Program in Manipur, Institute of Technology, Nirma University, Ahmedabad, Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat, KCG, Ahmedabad, Center for Entrepreneurship and Skill Development, Manipur University, Narmada College of Science and Commerce, Narmada College of Campus Bharuch, then GNFC Bharuch, and of course HRDC Gujarat University. She has attended various management teachers program and FDPs at IIM Bangalore, IIM Indore, IIM Noida, MDI Goregaon. She has published more than 100 research articles in referred national and international academic journals, book, chapters and cases, presented papers in many national and international conferences, and authored and edited more than 15 books. She has been awarded Merit Certificate by Education Department, Government of Gujarat in recognition of meritorious score in Gujarat. She is a recipient of various awards and prizes for best research papers, best performer and best teacher. She is acting as a chairman of Indian Society for Training and Development, Ahmedabad chapter. She was acting as vice chairman of ISTD, Ahmedabad chapter till date. She is passionate about teaching, research, training, and has been engaging in industrial and organizational through coaching, training, learning, and development. She has taught courses at MDI. She is coordinator of postgraduate diploma program in finance management for the Management Academy, Gujarat University. Dr. Neelam started FMDP cell in the Gujarat University and has been conducting management development programs for middle level executives, faculty development program for the management faculties and student development programs of management. Besides, Dr. Panchal has delivered many invited keynote speeches and talks in international and national level conferences, seminar, training programs across the nation. She has conducted employee development, management development, faculty development, and women development programs for executives and middle level managers of different organizations like Kohler India, PI Industries, Classic Hotels, Jindal Industries, Babina Diagnostics, Asian Paints Limited, to name a few. She has been the convener of the first, second, and third youth summits at national and international levels in the Gujarat University. She has developed MOOCs and e-content modules under UGC HRDC on various subjects of economics, commerce, and management, which is part of Swayam Prabha DTH channel devoted to telecasting of high quality educational programs. She has published more than 100 research papers, more than 20 books, and developed more than 100 e-content modules and 5 MOOCs on various subjects under Swayam platform of HRDC. So friends, I would like to welcome Dr. Neelam Panchal to deliver her lecture, and I'm sure that it would be very fruitful for all of us. So please welcome Dr. Neelam Panchal.
I welcome you all, friends, and let us start with the session today on strategic planning and management. Friends, as the name suggests, strategic planning here referring to words. One is a strategy, other is a planning. In fact, when we are saying strategy here, we are referring to the way in which we want to set the goals, we want to determine the actions for the future, and we would have to mobilize the resources that we have so that we can have a better planning. So, in this session, we are going to look into what is strategy, what is strategic plan, what is strategic in strategic plan, what is the difference between the operational plan and strategic plan, what is the difference between the strategic planning and a strategic management. We will also see that why recently so much emphasis is given by the educational institutions for the strategic management. And importantly, how should we process the thinking and planning strategically? So, in nutshell, we are going to observe in this session managerial implications of thinking and planning strategically, and thereby we would try to look into what is the role that university has to play in strategic planning process. So let's start the session by understanding the word strategy. Friends, the word strategy here means the setting of the goals, determining the actions to achieve the goals, and mobilizing the resources to execute the actions. So, what happens is, say, for example, you want to set a goal for your own institution. What would you do? You would determine the actions to achieve the goal and mobilize the resources to execute the actions. So strategic planning here is a process which involves defining organization strategy or direction, making decisions on allocating organizations resources to pursue these strategy, and identifying control mechanisms for guiding the implementation of the strategy. Strategic planning helps to coordinate the two processes, that is considering strategy formulation and strategy implementation. So, friends, what happens is strategic planning is such a process whereby we are trying to define what is the organization strategy or direction, and we are trying to make the decisions on that basis. Now, let us look into what are the features of the strategy. So, number one is strategy are developed to move an organization or destination from its current competitive position to a more desirable future competitive situation. What we are trying to look into is, say, for example, if we are in education institution, what we would try to do is we would try to look into where exactly we are and where we want to achieve, where we want to go ahead, what is our desirable future competitive situation. And that is the first feature of strategy. The second feature is when we are saying a strategy, it adopt a medium to longer time frame or process that evolves over a period of time. Third is strategy and the achievement of the organization. It involves vision, objectives, direction, and commitment, involving all the elements and all the people of the organization. So, if there is no commitment, if there is no vision, if there is no objective, if there is no direction, then the success will not be achieved. So, very important in a strategy is to have a telescopic view. Thereby, we can say that you should have an idea about what is the vision of your organization, what are the objectives, what is the mission, where actually ultimately you want to reach. And until unless you have it, then the organization cannot success. And that is why the telescopic view is very, very important in a strategy. Next is, friends, successful strategic decisions to match the organizational activities with the resources is very, very important. Why? Because strategies must be based on the current reality. What is happening currently? And you, as a strategist, you, as a designer of the plan, you need to have an idea about what is happening currently, and you have to design the are very, very complex and involve many, many stakeholders. So, here when we are saying what are features of the strategy, we can say that it is like a time frame process is very important, and the telescopic view is also very, very important. And importantly, strategies are a template drive. So somewhere or the other way, you have to be very, very specific about the way in which you want to achieve the things. So now let us look into the next part, that is what is strategic plan. So friends, when we are saying strategic plan, here we are referring to a methodological and a meticulous method to produce the fundamental decisions and actions that shape and guide what an organization is, whom it serves, what it does, and why it does it, with a focus on the future. Say, for example, you are running a private institution and you are in an education sector. When you are referring to strategic planning, what you would do is you would think about your own organization. You would say what an organization is, whom does it serve, what it does, and why it does it, with a focus on the future. So, simply, strategic planning determines where an organization is going to over the next year or more, and how it's going to get there, and how to know when one arrives at the destination. Say, for example, you have decided to go to particular location, then what do we do is we are determining actually where and in how much time you want to go there, and how will we arrive, and finally what would be our destination. So to reach that destination, side by side we plan to different WH questions, that is where, how, when, why, so on and so forth. So effective strategic planning articulates where an organization is going, that is destination and the directions, or the goals and objectives, the actions needed to make the progress, and how it will know if it is successfully or not. So the determination is very, very important. So for effective strategic planning, it is very, very important to articulate where exactly an organization is going and how it is going. And this process is referring to strategic planning. So, in nutshell, we can say that strategic planning is the contemporary term used by the planners to replace the traditional term known as long range planning. What we were doing is we were doing a long range planning. Okay, and traditionally we were using that word, but now what we are doing is we are planning for the 5 years down the line where we want to look into our institution. Say, for example, I'm running a business where actually I want to see my business in 5 years' time. Say, for example, I'm an owner or I'm a trustee in the educational institution where actually I want to see my educational institution after 5 years down the line. And for achieving that destination, I would do planning. And that itself is a strategic planning. So, when we are saying what is the nature of the strategic planning, we can say that it is comprehensive. It must be actually comprehensive. You cannot talk long and long and there is nothing to the point, then the strategic planning would not give the better results. Secondly, it should be thoughtful. That is, you must have analyzed the situation. You must be analytical. You have to be synthesizing in whatever you are planning. Because until unless you have planned without thinking analytically, it would not give better results. And importantly, it is having a well placed nature. Well placed means that would give you the right picture of the strategic plan. So, in nutshell, we can say that strategy it should be well placed in nature. Now, let us try to look into what is the importance of strategic planning. Why planning strategically? So, friends, we have seen that a strategic plan is a document. What we are doing here is we are preparing a document. We are trying to look into what are the actions needed to achieve the goals and all of the other critical elements developed during the planning exercise. Simply say, for example, verbally, if you communicate anything to your employees working in the organization, it may happen that tomorrow or day after tomorrow or during the course of the time, people will forget what it is. But in a strategic plan, you are preparing a document which is usually used to communicate about the goals of the organization. Why? Because if the goals are clear to everybody who is working in the organization, then on auto mode, the actions needed to achieve those goals would be critically analyzed, and everyone who is working in the organization they would work for the organization. So the planners generally think and plan strategically because of the increasing realization that planning and people activities do not always means achievement of the goals. That is, say for example, if you have set plan well, in the 5 years you want to see your institution at a particular level. Say, for example, you have planned well. Does it mean that you are going to achieve your goal 100%? The answer is no. What is important is once you plan, it must be known to the people and the activities that you're going to perform that also must be in accordance so that the goals can be achieved. And then and there, the relevant goal of the organization would be achieved. Next is plowing more resources do not always lead to more results. Say, for example, there is no need to plan strategically to ensure both efficiency and effectiveness in the use of resources. Friends, what happens is you have many times a lot of resources. Say, for example, you have so many faculties. You have started an institution and you have hired, 10 odd employees and, you have hired the 10 faculties, even the staff, the non-teaching staff. Does it mean that it would lead to more results? The answer is no. So What you need to do is, it is not necessary that you have to bring more resources. It is very important that even with a less resources, if you can do the effective planning and if you can utilize the efficiency of the people working in the organization, then it would be better in achieving the results of the organization. Thirdly, planning all we want to does not always lead to doing all we plan. It is better to plan strategically, to prioritize impact areas by weighting their benefits in terms of sustainability and impact to students and their household, institutions, and society at a larger scale. So, whatever you are planning, okay, we cannot look into at a short term objective. We have to prioritize. We have to prioritize the impact areas. We have to give the weightage. We have to look into the sustainability of the plans that we have made, and we have to look into the impact. What would be the impact of the strategic plan that I am making to the employees, to the students, to the households, to the institutions, to the society in general, and to everybody who is directly or indirectly involved in this exercise. So, in nutshell, we can say that a strategic plan is used to communicate the priorities of an organization. It is a document which is prepared and it would give you an idea about what actually the organization want to achieve. We all know that our educational institutions also, even if you look into the higher education, right? So there are always 5 years plan, 5 years down the line, where actually we want to achieve, what we want to achieve, how we want to achieve. That is the focus. Okay, and what are the focus energy, what are the resources that are required, right? And to strengthen the operations, strategic plan is prepared. It also ensures that employees and stakeholders work toward common goals, mission, vision, and strategies. Say, for example, the goal of the organization is to provide quality in the services. Okay, and if the organization employees are not knowing that this is the goal of the organization, it may happen their focus may be in increasing the numbers or maybe in improving the quantity and not the quality. So until and unless the vision, mission, objectives, the plan, everything is not clear to your employees, the success is not possible. Either it is a business or it is a education institution. Then establishing agreement around intended outcomes. Friends, when we are developing a strategic plan, what happens is we are really intending to have a better outcome. We want to assess and we want to adjust the organization's direction in response to the changing environment. According to the environment, we need to change the process. According to environment, we need to adjust to the factors that are revolving around us. And so strategic planning is a very, very important in any type of organization, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is service sector, or including whether it is a education sector.